Hello, and welcome to New Mexico Media Makers, where we focus on the people who create film, television, and new media right here in New Mexico. I'm your host, Catherine Palafis, and with me is always my co-host, Mike Gaba.
Hey, Catherine.
Hey, Mike. And today we're really excited because we welcome our first guest today, local producer and director, Holly Adams.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
Holly.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for asking me. I'm really excited to be here.
You are such a colorful person. Please tell us how you got started in this business.
Wow. Well, let's see. I was a professional dancer. I started as a ballerina with San Francisco Ballet when I was 13. Wow. I got a scholarship. I lived in Texas. Hopefully you can't tell. And I lived in Texas and trained as a dancer and got a scholarship when I was 13 to San Francisco Ballet. Left home and stayed there for 5 years. Kind of got in a little trouble. You know, a teenager in San Francisco by myself.
Do I smell stories?
Oh, yes. Anyway, we'll skip that part. Then I came home to Austin and danced there and then got a job with Milwaukee Ballet Company. Mm-hmm. And I was there for about 5 years. I also had a punk band at the time.
Fabulous.
It was called The Curves. It was an all-girl little punk band. We opened for the Stray Cats at one point,
wow,
which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then they fired John Paul Cummelin, who was the director of the Milwaukee Ballet, and hired Ted Kivett from ABT, Albuquerque Ballet, American Ballet Theater. Why am I stuck in Albuquerque?
I don't know.
Anyway,
where are we?
So they fired all the dancers except for the two soloists. At that point, I got a job doing jazz shows and moved to New York. I saved up enough money, moved to New York in '82, and I was there till '95. And I did a lot of dancing until my Achilles tendon snapped, and at which point I decided to take up acting. And I got the first thing I auditioned for. It was called Betaville. Mm-hmm. It was a spoof of Jean-Luc Godard's Alphaville. And I think for no money, I looked the most like the lead that they could find. So I got that, and it garnered a little cult following in New York and in Europe. And from there, I made about maybe 15 other films I starred in. Of course, they were underground films, and that's kind of where I learned about filmmaking. It's like these people said, I want to make a film. They picked up a camera and made a film. It wasn't a big deal. They just would do it. Mm-hmm. And my first film that I made was shot on Super 8. Yeah. And we edited it on Super 8. Wow. I wanted a really grainy look. The movie is called Nymphomania, and it was picked up by the British Film Institute, and it opens their Cinema of Transgression History of the Avant-Garde series that they put out on PAL, which we can't play here, and this was during VHS too, if anybody remembers that. So. Anyway, it got a lot of attention, and it really has this 1930s kind of grainy black and white look that I was going for. But I think that all my films have a bit of a theme running through them.
Which is?
Well, I believe that men and women have physiological differences, and I believe it translates psychologically. Men have an outie, women have an innie. So it translates psychologically and how we think differently, as genders, and then how are we going to come together and create relationships and be happy in them. And I find that there's a lot of tragedy, which also translates quite well to comedy. So nice. Everything I do has to do with relationships between men and women. And Nymphomania was really about how beauty or a nude body is perceived maybe by the man as being sexual when there was no sexual the woman wasn't putting that out there. Mm-hmm. And so there's a rape that takes place, and it's kind of symbolic of how the beauty, kind of can be raped or taken, it's taken to a different level that was never perceived by the woman. And of course, all of this has come out of some relationships I've had in the past. So. Men, don't worry. I'm getting engaged. So. Married. I'm married. Getting married.
So from that experience in dealing with the relationships and being of a certain generation, how has it changed, or your attitude about that changed? As far as what you thought when you were in New York and young? And
yes, I was very sensitive. I think dancers tend to be very sensitive. I mean, we express everything physically. We don't use our voices. And so I feel that I've matured in a way that I can look at it in a comic way now. It's not going to change. This is how it's been for years and years and for generations. And I don't think that, you know, even women's lib or whatever, you know, all these changes that women have gone through are going to change the way men look at women or the way women look at men. And so I find that it's almost, I'm on the other side of it. It's funny to me. You know, I think that there's a lot of comedy there between the different ways of thinking.
Your latest project taps back into where your viewpoints have changed, what this generation's technology offers us. Tell us about your latest project.
Okay, well, it's called the Man app. And it's about a girl who creates an app so that you can have the perfect man at the touch of a button.
This is what I was afraid of.
Yeah,
my entire
see,
life.
we don't need you. Well, we need you. That's the whole thing. We need guys, right?
Okay.
I mean, there's a plumber, there's a cop, there's a chauffeur, you know, whatever you might need. And but the problem is we don't need you all the time. And there's some issues like, can you just go away for a minute or whatever?
It's the story of my life.
It's also about taking away, you know, the feeling and the relationships, because I think that technology has done that to us. You know, we communicate, but through this, you know, written word sometimes, and not even face to face. And so relationships have really changed, you know, that way. And I think that I have one character who really believes in technology and using it and using men as much as she can. The other character is still stuck. She doesn't have a computer. She owns a bookstore. You know, she's hopelessly romantic, you know, but she wants the Wuthering Heights romance.
And which one are you like?
You know, I've been accused of being Alex, which is the one who created the app, but I'm way more like Hope. Hope is the brunette, and her name is H-O-P-E, and my name is H-O-L-L-Y, Holly. So I feel as though I'm really Hope, but you know, there's part of me that has a little Alex in her too.
You brought a clip of Man Up, right?
I did, yes.
Can we roll that clip, please?
Thank you so much for the chauffeur last night. That was a really nice surprise.
No worries. Did he get you,
home art? Why do you always have to smuttify everything?
But I do so love being smutadicious. Oh, stop being grumpy McGrumperson. You're free and single now. This is a good thing.
No, it's not. I miss Danny.
No, you don't. You miss the idea of him.
Oh, babies, I know it's hard.
But you're free now. By your choice, I might add. And, you know, if you really need a man, I can set you up with one just like that.
No. What I need right now is to be alone for a while.
Brilliant.
You're a genius. Yes, you could write the next great American romance novel.
Yeah, I mean, who needs a real romance anyway? With, you know, what's his name? Scrappy.
When you can create the perfect one. I know you never liked him, Alex, but at least Danny is real.
Yeah, he was real, all right, a real loser. Get it? Real loser.
But I still love him.
Okay, fine. Have it your way. While you're writing that sexy novel of yours, and you know, you need a hot date or something, just let me know. I can set you up with a real man.
I'll think about it.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's a small leak in the bathroom.
Brilliant. Perfect. There's Danny.
Hope, I got these for you.
Perfect timing. I need your help.
Oh, hello, Paul. How convenient.
I want more. That was really cute, Holly.
Thank you.
So where do we find the most up-to-date information on what's happening with Man App and your projects?
We do have a website. It's www.theman-app.com.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to ask you, you're the mother of a almost teenager.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, and she's a girl, and you're trying, is this a warning for her? What are you trying to teach her through this?
Well, basically, it's interesting. I came to Albuquerque to escape showbiz. I'd kind of had it, and I was ready to have a kid. And so I had her, and after about 8 years, I decided, you know, this is my passion. This is what I love doing. And I believe I owe it to her to honor my own passions because I want her to feel the same way. So whether or not she gets the man app yet, I think the important thing is that I'm following my dream so that she can as well. I want to really be a good example as a mom. And not everyone makes movies like me. So, you know, I'm so fortunate, all the help and support I've gotten from the people here in Albuquerque.
Holly, your work is a reflection and a comment on our culture, and it's going to stay current because you follow what's happening with each generation. And we thank you for your work. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. It was great meeting both of you.
Thanks a
Have
lot.
a great new year, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be speaking with local producer and actor James Blackburn. Wasn't that quick?